Got any old video games at all?
Let me see. Yeah, but like I got some like from like Atari.
Really?
Atari, yeah.
Any Nintendo, Sega, anything like that?
You would like these?
Yeah. You have more?
I may have it. I gotta look.
Yeah, anything like this.
Play games.
Oh, okay.
You're never gonna grow up like that.
Right.
Yeah. Give me $1 each for you.
I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. How much for the whole thing of Post-its?
The whole thing, give me $10 the whole thing.
$10?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Alright, I got no room in here and it's really starting to piss me off. Not that anybody cares. Alright, let's get right into it. Oh God, it's early morning. It's you need that first sip of coffee. So here we go. We went out yesterday and we picked up this. A bag of panties. No. This is basically boat stuff. I don't know about you, but I remember hooking up my car stereo as a young man and needing some copper wire. They needed some heavy gauge wire. So I went to this boat place called West Marine, and the wire was so incredibly overpriced. And then I started to like wander around. I was like wandering around that place in a daze, looking at all the price tags. Boat stuff. You got to be a sultan from Dubai to afford a boat here in Long Island. Boat stuff is so extremely expensive. I mean, so anyway, I picked up, it's this Garmin GPS. I don't know. I see Garmin, I say, who uses a GPS anymore? Because you got your cell phone, but I don't know, maybe on the water it's a different thing. It came with the instruction manual here. And, but the navigation system I wasn't really that excited about. This is what I got excited about. I don't even know why I got excited about this. It's a fish finder. But it's made by Furuno? I'm probably saying that wrong. Furuno. I don't know. This kind of boat electronics, I don't know. To me, in my mind, it goes for money. I could be completely wrong. But here we go. It's a LS 6000 fish finder. Fish finder makes absolutely no sense to me. My idea going out on this like fishing boat, like the Orca, to go fishing, you know? I'm going to throw a line in the water. If I don't catch anything, I move the boat. I'm not turning on a fish finder. You might as well have a machine that casts your rod and waits to catch the fish and then pulls up the fish, and then another robot there like clapping and celebrating when you catch a fish, and you just sit back like, that's what fishing is. Go the fuck out fishing. Anyhow. Alright, anybody still awake out there? We're talking about boat stuff. Let's get right to it. This is actually the last garage sale of the day. To be honest with you, by 9 o'clock, any shred of hope that I have just went right out the window. So, to my amazement, I asked this guy, I said, hey, you got any video games? He said, yeah, I got some, I don't know what he said, Atari. I don't know. I said, whatever you got, bring it out. So he goes in and he comes out with like 3 games. And I'm like, you have any more? This happens, guys. I say, you have any more stuff? And he goes, yeah. And he goes back in and he comes out with another handful of games. And then I'm like, do you have any more stuff? And he goes, yeah, let me look again. It's like, I don't get people. And nice guy, but he didn't seem to have a brain in his head. I don't want to say that. That's mean. But anyway. So he came out with, alright, these games right here. The first one was a Sega Genesis game. Some of them weren't complete, so I didn't take them. I only took the ones that were complete. Super WrestleMania, Sonic the Hedgehog, Tasmania, and The Little Mermaid. And how nice to see, boy oh boy, I tell you what, it's like the sharks just ripped the meat right off the carcass. And what it's funny, like a couple years ago to find a couple of Nintendo games wouldn't have been a big deal, but it just feels like such a big deal now. Alrighty, here we go. Spy versus Spy. Sesame Street ABC. I have a review of this game, you know, very early on in my channel's life, if anybody's interested. I have to say it's a good review. Anyway. Galaga. That's pretty cool. Who makes that? Bandai. Bandai. Base is loaded. Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt World Class Track Meet. Super Mario Brothers 2. Rad Racer. Ten-Yard Fight. Another Super Mario Brothers 2. Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt. Bayou Billy. I talk about Bayou Billy all the time. I wanted this game so badly when I was a kid. The spread in Nintendo Power magazine was so awesome for this game. It just seemed like so much was going on. This is right around the time when Crocodile Dundee came out. And this guy's like walking around in the bog. He's got crocodiles jumping out of the water. He's driving a Jeep. He's shooting a rifle. It was like all this crazy stuff was going on. You saw that spread. You were convinced this was the greatest video game of all time. I still haven't played it. All right. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. And Spy Hunter. Spy Hunter is one of those games that I played for the Nintendo that was so disappointing to me. I used to play Spy Hunter on the ColecoVision, and Spy Hunter on the ColecoVision was like, I think it's one of the best games on the system. And then to play it on the Nintendo, I was kind of let down because games that you played for ColecoVision and when you played them for the Nintendo was like such a mind-blowing step up. And to be honest with you, I enjoyed the ColecoVision game better than the Nintendo version. So that was a big deal. I don't know, for me at least. Yeah. So there you go. That's 17 games, and he wanted $1 a piece for them. So $17. That's math that even Bithead 1000 can do. Okay. Oh, by the way, we paid $5 for the boat stuff. The boat stuff, $5. Okay. Okay, so yeah, while he was knuckling around in there, I'm sitting there looking at this barrel of posters. They're brand new. They're all like, let me lift it up here. Oh God, guys, this one's gonna be tough. Here we go. There's a whole shitload of Daryl Strawberry posters. All these posters are brand new, by the way. All right. So here we go. Oh. Look at this. So you're saying to yourself, oh, posters, whoop-de-doo. But I'm looking in here, and it's like Charles Barkley, Kenny Anderson. This is back when the Nets were actually a good team. I don't watch sports anymore, guys. But I used to watch basketball, football back, back in the 80s, early 90s and whatnot. Look at these. Shaquille O'Neal. Wayne Gretzky. Barry Bonds. What else we got in here? Look, they even have Mark Martin. What is that? Mark Martin. Oh, that's NASCAR. We got Grant Hill. Look at this. Grant Hill, Detroit Pistons. Mark McGuire. Look at that. Mark McGuire. Look at this. This is a door. Remember door posters? Oh, guys, I'd love to bring you back to my room in the 1980s. Wall-to-wall Iron Maiden posters. I had an Eddie Maiden poster on each side of my door. One of them, he's like busting through the door. Oh my God! I wish I could find pictures of my room. Yeah, you got. Who you got in here? Cecil Fielder. Oh, look at this. Eric Montrose. I mean, Glenn Robinson. Oh. What else have we got here? Toronto Blue Jays collage. Who's this? Larry Johnson. Dominique Wilkins. Wow. Oh man, listen, some of these old basketball guys, this is great. Anyhow, listen, posters. Here's another Mark McGuire. Grant Hill. I'm probably saying names over and over again. Anyway, oh, look at this, Dan Marino. Huh. Dan Marino poster. How about that? John Elway. Huh. What's this one here? Collage Hornets poster. Hornets was like the big, like, everybody had the Hornets starter jacket because it was like this like nice blue color and everybody. Nobody knew their ass from their elbow when it came to the Hornets. Listen, a lot of these guys, everybody had a starter jacket back in high school. It was starter, and what was the other one? Apex. Woo! Bringing back memories, huh, guys? Remember the Apex pullover? It was always college football teams. Man, you corner any of these kids, you say, hey, who's on that team? And they'd be like, nobody. Listen, it was just the trend. Starter hat, starter jacket, then it was Apex hat. For a long time, it was those white college college team hats. Remember the white ones? And I'm going to tell you something. Back in the day, you used to bend that brim. I still do it. You bend that brim up. Tunnel vision, baby. Pull it down. Tunnel vision. Oh, yeah. Anyhow, everybody had a starter jacket. Man, I had Dallas Cowboys. Started a big Dallas Cowboys fan. Dallas Cowboys. I wish I still had my... You don't see those starter jackets out there. I look for them. I don't see them. Anyhow, there's some goddamn posters. Alright, this next one, I don't know, something, sometimes I go to these garage sales and I get so pissed off because I think of my childhood and I think about what everybody else had and I think about what I had and I'm like, fuck this, I'm buying it. You're like, I'll show you, but then there's nobody around, so it doesn't even matter. So, back in the day, the popular toy, listen, when I was in the 6th and 7th grade, Micro Machines, guys. These Micro Machines came out, and it was like, you want to talk about a hot toy. And I remember everybody had Micro Machines, and my mother bought me these goddamn little toys that you pull backwards and you put the penny in the back. It's like I couldn't even bring them out in front of my friends. It was so embarrassing. I didn't even have enough. I didn't even have the penny to put in the back. Alright, maybe that's going a little far. I had the penny. But everybody had Micro Machines. My friend growing up, his name was Todd. His mother worked for Mattel, for Christ's sake. And I know Micro Machines is what? Galoob? But still, he had all the latest and greatest shit from Mattel. He-Man. I think He-Man was Mattel. He had every single goddamn He-Man toy you could even think of. I had one toy, and it was a stupid bug that nobody knew about. It was like the obscure He-Man toy. Ah, man. And I had a Manny Faces that I found. It was broken. You couldn't turn the head anymore. The face, the fucking face thing. And I think I had the upper torso of that guy Ramhead, whatever he was. Like somebody hit the thing and the torso came flying off, and that's what I had. So anyway, yeah, everybody had Micro Machines, and all right, let me just show you some of them here so you don't fall asleep. These, I guess, they're military Micro Machines, which to me, I'm like, I kind of wanted the cars. Anyway, they come in these little bags. Let me show you what's in the box. It's like all these military sets and whatnot. There's a big airplane, and to be honest with you, part of the reason why I bought this is because my kid was in the truck, and he's complaining, and so it had this big airplane, like this big transport airplane and whatnot, so I gave it to him. It has like little propellers that he likes to sit there and spin. That'll keep him entertained for hours. So here we go. There's these little sets here. Comes with these, like, I don't know, stickers, instructions. Yeah. Military. These sets were like, it was unheard of. If you had the Micro Machines, it was one thing. If you had these little broken kits, no. If you had these little kits, oh, does that missile fire? Hold on a second. I don't know. You were in. You had these little scenic kits here. It was like you... Alright. Anyway. There's a bunch of these little kits in here. Oh, I like some little Micro Machines. Airplanes and Nazis. There's a little Micro Machine Nazis. Yes. These guys, this is like World War II, guys. Now, there's always the guy throwing the grenade, right? What a troublemaker. Anyway. So, there you go. Box of Micro Machines. You gotta understand something. This was back in... Micro Machines was back when I was in like junior high. And kids used to... If you had Micro Machines, forget about video games. You could come in and safely exchange video games. There was like, I don't know, a code of ethics about video games. But if you had Micro Machines, people would jack you for your Micro Machines. They would steal them from you. And I don't know. Listen, I don't know if I've ever talked about this before. There's this like... Listen, in elementary school, you had a very strong fear of adults. You know, like teachers, your parents, and ba. And then, never mind... And then in high school, there was this very strong, like, I don't know, feeling like when you went into high school, you were an older person now. You were supposed to be more mature. There was a stigma about, like, you know, you're trying to impress girls now. You're not trying to be goofy. It was almost like, I don't know, in high school, it had this different vibe. In middle school, we're talking about 6th, 7th, 8th grade, I guess some type of hormones were kicking in. These kids were fucking nuts. When I think about what happened in middle school, they used to set the trash cans on fire in the cafeteria on a daily basis. To the point where at the end of eating lunch, they would line people up, and it was like a guard would sit there and watch the kids throw away the trash. And they were still setting the trash cans on fire. Food fights would break out. We had girls slashing each other with razor blades. We had girls expelled for doing that. They pushed the fucking 300 pound, she was probably 400 pound music teacher right down the fucking stairs. I mean, these kids were out of their fucking minds. You want to worry about your kids going to school, you worry about middle school. Because I don't know what the fuck is going on. But anyway, in middle school, it was micro machines, and people would steal them. Steal them right out from under you. And that was one thing I remembered about micro machines. It was like, if you had a micro machine, you better tuck it away, buddy. And you pull it out, you make sure you got your eyes on it. God almighty. I remember Mr. Wunsch's shop class. This guy, we would work on a project. I remember we were all supposed to build a tool, like a tool, like a, I don't know. I built a scythe, like it was like the fucking Grim Reaper scythe. But anyway, everybody's supposed to build some type of tool. And this guy would split the class in half, 2 groups, A group, B group. And what would happen was, because there were only a certain amount of tools you could work with, A group would go work on their tools, B group would work on the report, because you had to do a report for what you're doing, the history of it or whatnot. I don't know. So, Mr. Wunsch, so people would go out, and it was power tools and everything. It was a bandsaw, table saw, this, that, and the other thing. Then he would go, and all of a sudden he would just up and leave the class. And it was it was like the thing to do. They'd take the table saw and aim it at the kids that were at the desks, and then fire it up and throw chunks of wood at the blade, and it would shoot the blade like a cannon at the kids sitting at the desks. They would take a 2x4 and hit the bandsaw blade. The kids we were fucking crazy. I was more reserved. I was more of an observer, like wide-eyed, like, are they really gonna do that? They would hit the bandsaw blade with like a 2x4. Let me tell you something. That's what I'm worried about. My kid, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Jesus Christ. They used to drop books they would drop books off the fucking, like in the stairwell, drop books off the top floor onto kids' heads down on the bottom. We didn't do that shit in high school, brother. And we certainly didn't do it in elementary school. Anyway, micro machine, $3. I don't know. I'm gonna go play with them now. Anyhow, I'm Bedhead 1000. You're tuned in to the greatest video game program in the history of human civilization. And you better believe that.